Hello, this is Neil from iPaintGirls.com. And someone sent me a really cool question. That is, if you're going to go about to do a cartoonization of somebody, which I just trace over the photo because I don't even bother, drawing it any other way because why waste time? I'm getting paid by the hour. Just do it, get done with. We're not paid by the job. So if I charge them $25, I want to finish this in an hour. Only way I can do that is if I trace it. But what if the photo doesn't have the best lighting? I actually think this is okay lighting and it would translate well to a cartoon. But what if the lighting is not the best, and or you just want to add different lighting? You want to add a typical photographer's lighting. So you wanted the lighting to be strong, more on the right side than the left side. Let's say you want the lighting, the strong side of the strongest part of the lighting. You want it to be like here, and there'll be a little bit of lighting there, but the strongest part here and here. And if you want it to be like that, the photo doesn't work. So how do you do that? How do you go about changing the lighting of someone? So I just want to give you a quick tip on how you can change the lighting on somebody. It's all about form. If you haven't gotten my course on form yet, you got to get it. It'll help you draw all these types of things better when you understand what form is. And once you have that down, then what I'm about to show you right now will be really easy. If you don't have form down yet, what I'm about to show you might make sense, but might not make the most sense. So hopefully it makes enough sense. I'll try to make as much sense as I can without you having the prerequisite knowledge of my course on form, dynamic lighting, and perspective. Right, so the first thing is a quick outline cartoonization of the person. You can see that it looks like the person when you trace it, but it doesn't totally look the person. And notice what I did do is I thinned out the jaw to make it, how I did the jaws to make it look thinner. You want to do that, especially with this kind of jaw, because otherwise it just doesn't resemble the person very much. If you follow the actual outline of the jaw, it'll look more round. And so I purposely did it like that to get rid of the roundness of the jaw to make it look more like the person due to the shadow inside the face here. Right, so the next thing is how do we go about shading this to where it'll, how do we shade it to a different lighting? And this all comes down to understanding form. So this is more the advanced understanding of form, the mesh understanding of form. To get to this point where you can see the mesh form of any object, you want to take my new course, which is Draw Realistically from Your Imagination, which deals with form, dynamic lighting, and perspective. So you can see this, it starts getting flatter as we get up here. It's not like this part right here, this section here is more flat, more of a flat plane. This all here kind of comes down like this. It kind of sinks in. And the reason why all this sinks in is because we know we have a skull here, and this is an empty space. Then we have an eyeball socket here, which is a sphere. And the skin folds around that eyeball socket. And so this all kind of comes out like this. That's the form. This has its own separate form like this, and it's because it wraps around this eyeball socket, and so it has this whole shape has a kind of roundness to it. We know that this under part here has a thickness, so if we were to look up at it, it has a thickness to the lid, and that's what causes a drop shadow onto the eyeball. We know this bottom part here is also wrapping around, so it has a little bit of form as well, where this side would be more shadowed than this side if the light was coming from a typical photographer setup. Right, and how that is then is that the lighting it's above her, it's to the right of her, and it's in front of her a bit. That's where the lighting is, and so it's kind of hitting all the top parts more. We know this right here is also going to be the same thing. It's going to kind of have that form to it. This shape here will have that same, it's going to have a form to it. It's not flat. It's kind of round because it's wrapping around an eyeball, and it's coming out toward us a little bit. So from the side view, you'll have the eyebrow here, and it kind of sinks in a bit, and then you have that whole eyeball part. So you have this upper lid here, and that lower lid there, right? All that's important to understand. This here kind of swoops down like this. Now it's kind of coming in, and this has a form that kind of comes out a little bit, which is why the light hits here more. This whole part here is like two planes here where this is all coming back away from the light, and this you can just treat as one big flat plane or a slightly, curved plane. So it's not totally flat, has a slight curve to it, so there'll be more lighting over here than over there, but almost the same. And you want to do this for the face because the individual face is different, right? You can have this whole entire more flat plane down here, which is going to be turned away from the light from the typical photographer setup. This is going to kind of have more flatter, but kind of a little bit of roundness to it. And then this here will be another plane. So think about the planes. That's how you want to kind of look at the face. You have this whole part here, and you have this plane here, you have this plane here. This is important that you get the plane of her face right. You're not just making up a face here, you're actually drawing her face. And so you want to see how does her face, the planes of her face work. The upper lip, lower lip. This is a really important plane, all this area right here. And that this is going to be the darker part no matter what. Unless the light's coming directly up, then it'll be the light part. Pay attention to the whole plane of her face here. So this all here it's kind of more flat or even soups in a little bit, which will get a little bit darker. You have the sides of the nose, which are important. This whole part kind of soups in. Right, so you want to kind of pay attention to how these lines would kind of come down like this to the sides of the nose. And then you have the cheek, so it kind of comes, and you see the form of the cheek, right? How it kind of comes out right here. And this is the part that has the most thickness, the part that comes out the most. Right, pretty high cheekbones. And this is the part here that all sticks out the most. Still though, there's this little bit of plane that she has right here. This is an important plane. You don't want to miss this. It's part of what makes her face look like her face. And this all kind of comes out a little bit more flat. Then you have the jaw, and then you have the chin. And this is the part that is going to be turned away from us the most. And once you have these planes down, then you're ready to shadow this thing, how you shade and from whatever light source you want to hit it from. Once you have the planes of the face down, now you can shadow it how you want to. And so that's really it. So what you do is, with the photographer's lighting setup, then with this structure you got going on, this will be a very hot spot here. So there'll be a lot of light there. I'll go ahead and make a new layer. Make a light color. So we know that this here is going to be a hot spot. Over here will be a hot spot too, just a little bit, not as hot as that though really. There'll be some light here, some bounce light there, a little bit of light here. This is kind of turned away from light, but all this part of the nose will be lit up, and this all part will be in shadow. This will all be in shadow. That part down there will be in shadow. Down there will be in shadow. All this right here will be in shadow. That wouldn't be as in shadow, but there'll be a slight lighter spot here to show that distinction. Right, and that's all the shadow parts. This would be in a little bit of shadow, but not much, because it's on the light side of the face. Be a little bit of shadow here, like that. Oops. Again, all that would kind of be in shadow. You'd have a little bit of shadow on this side. You'd kind of turn like this. All this side would be in shadow more. This side of the face right here would be like that. This whole part would be shadowed. It'd kind of fade that way. It'd be a little bit shadow here, a little bit in here. This side would be lighter, and then you'd have a lighter side on this side a little bit, and then you have a little bit of shadow for this part here. And then you'd have a little bit of shadow on this part of the eye. Less on that side, remember, because how the light hits it, we're going from that angle here. This all right here would be lit up in here, mainly from bounce lighting. You'd have this all part right here be darker. Kind of pretty much the eyes stay the same no matter what kind of lighting you use. They don't change very much, but so that part is sticking out more since I have some lighting. This part here is all going to be in shadow on this side, so this is where it's going to change. And that, that lid will have some more shadow. But this side over here is going to have a little bit of lighting. So it kind of a little bit opposite, and then this will have a little bit of lighting. And then you have to draw the lashes over it. You get the idea though. So it kind of takes up a form like that. And that's how you go about changing the lighting structure. And of course all this under here, let's see, all that would all be under more darker shadow. You'd have a little bit of dark shadow on this side. Anyway, I'm not going to get into all that, but won't get. You have to figure out the form of the neck the same way we did the face, and then shadow it accordingly. But as you can see, that's how you begin to start to restructure the face. Now, if I took the time to like paint this on a separate layer, then you would see, and I did do that, and the video came out to be 40 minutes long. I'm like, I just don't want to post a 40-minute long video because no one really watches that on the YouTube channel. I know like the subscribers might like that. So hey, if you want me to do this for the VIP members, if you VIP members want me to, do the 40-minute tutorial that I did of this, where I actually take the time to paint all of this and in more of a cartoon fashion, but just go through this really quickly to show you the form of the face from a different angle in a stylized, more cartoon fashion, let me know, and maybe I'll make that the next VIP video. Also, just VIP members, leave comments. Let me know what do you want to see next. What kind of tutorial do you want to see next? And so, YouTube subscribers, if you want the longer tutorials, just sign up for a free VIP membership. That's where I'm going to kind of start doing more of my longer tutorials. I'm going to try to keep the YouTube channel to more shorter tutorials. The next tutorial I want to do is another like photo manipulation type tutorial. I haven't done one of those in a while. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hopefully this helps understand how to see the form of a face and then how to paint it with a different lighting system than what the face already had on it. So you can take a photograph, understand the form of the face based on that photograph, and then repaint it with a different lighting source in mind. It's actually a really good exercise to learn form of the face. But again, if this is kind of hard to follow, how to see the form of the face, and you need to start with the basics and master form, dynamic lighting, and perspective by getting my new course. Just click on my homepage for the YouTube, and you'll see the video there. It should still be there. If not, just go to my channel, and then you'll see that course right there on the homepage. Not my channel, excuse me, my website, which is masterpaintingnow.com. The link's in the description. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you like my videos. It helps me, and also leave comments. That helps too. So appreciate it.